Hello! So the past 2 weeks have been all about strawberries. This week, we're switching it up. We're not doing strawberries, we're actually doing cherries. Some of them are actually already being washed in the sink, so they're not in the bag anymore. So we're doing cherries. Why are we doing cherries? Because around the 4th of July, I always think of cherries. When I was growing up, for whatever reason, I don't know how we got into the habit, we would sit on the front porch this time of year, and you know how you used to be able to get like a flat of cherries, like the massive thing that was probably, I don't know, a couple gallons worth of cherries is what it seemed like. And so you'd always have all these cherries around, and I grew up in a small town in South Dakota in the 70s, so a lot of people were canning them or pickling them or cooking with them. And yes, we did those things, but we also ate them by themselves. So you'd sit on the front porch. The best time to do this would be during like a thunderstorm. You'd sit on the front porch, it had an overhang, so it wasn't a big problem. And we'd have a seed spitting contest. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, so I never won, but it was always fun because it was something I could participate in. And surrounding the porch are actually daylilies, so you had rules. You won if you had to get it off the porch from where you were sitting, otherwise you completely failed. And then there was the question of whether it needed to clear the daylilies, which went out probably like 4 or 5 feet at least from the porch, or whether it landed in them, whether you hit a daylily, an actual flower, all those types of things. The important things when you're 8 years old. So anyway, this time of year I think of cherries. Recently I was watching something and digging around and looking at some recipes, and I found a cherry, I'm going to say Clafoutis. I don't know if that's right. It could be a Clafoutis. It could be a Clafoutis. I'm actually going to share a video down below that is how I think you should pronounce it. Don't hate me if it gets stuck in your head. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to make. Another part of the reason for that is because last week, I know I mentioned the possibility of buying a pie crust, and a few people were like, why would you recommend buying a pie crust? Well, frankly, I know that not a lot of people want to make their own pie crusts, and the strawberry pie was worth making even if you didn't make your own pie crust. So, this week, I'm once again using a pie tin, but a Clafoutis doesn't have any anyway, the thing I'm making doesn't actually have a crust. It has cherries in the bottom, and then it's supposed to be kind of a batter that you pour over the top of that, and then it just bakes in there. The things I've seen, it looks a little bit like you're kind of doing a coffee cake batter, but on the other hand, I read something recently that referred to it as kind of a flan-like texture. That was hard for me to say. I apologize. I got wrapped up in my head because I was thinking, was it flan or flan? Anyway, so it looks like it should be really easy and pretty fast. The first thing I have to do is finish pitting all the cherries. I don't have a cherry pitter. If you've ever watched Alton Brown and his thing about not wanting to have a unitasking tool in the kitchen, I mean, you take this out and then there's this thing that actually has a plunger on it and it splits the cherry and shoves the pit out the other side. I don't have one of those, so much like with the strawberries, I've just been going at it with a knife and just, for the cherries, I'm just splitting them this way, popping it open. I missed the pit completely in this one, so I'll have to go into my thumbnail. The one really big problem with this, if you get cherry juice everywhere, I had washed my hands after the last time. I did it before going to work. The last time I was doing this type of thing, and I washed my hands and left. Got to work and it looked like I'd murdered somebody. I had this dark red splotch right there. So don't do that. Wash your hands really well after you're done. But anyway, I'm gonna finish doing all of these. They're really tasty though. Now I kind of just want to eat them. I'm gonna finish these. Whip this thing up. Like I said, it looks like it's pretty fast, and that it only bakes for like 25 to 30 minutes. So I will see you in a little while, and we'll try a Clafoutis. we'll try whatever this thing is. It looks like it's going to be really good. See you in a little bit.